I'm Dwight Gow and you're watching Newcastle Fan TV.
So hello everybody, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. So Newcastle drew Preston earlier on today. You know, the result doesn't really matter. It's all about match fitness, tweaking a few things, seeing where new things that you can potentially look at. And you know, Rafa's lineup, can he really read much into this lineup? You know, the likes of, let's get it on screen for you. So it was Elliott, Chancellor Mbemba played at right back. We're going to come back to him in a minute. Grant Hanley started with Florian Lejeune starting for the first time. Paul Dummett at left back. Diarmid again playing that defensive midfield role. He was alongside Shelvey. Atsu started on the right, Aarons on the left, De Jong as the attacking midfielder, and Mitrovic up top. Now, there's a lot of changes, as we know, at half-time, with the likes of Colback, Hayden, Jacob Murphy was quite bright when he come on, Dwight Gale, Jose Perez, Carl Dollar, who was subbed on, and then later subbed off for Freddie Woodman. We've seen Manquillo come on for the last 13-14 minutes as well, off the top of your head, and Carl Roberts got half an hour as well. But you know, talking about the game in general, the first half Newcastle, Spurs, especially the first 15 to 20 minutes, were absolutely outstanding, flying out the blocks. You know, Mitrovic, I can hear the ambulance, happens all the time. Mitrovic outstanding, you know, holding the ball up, playing other people into play. He scored a great goal from a rebound for Paul Dummett's shot. He hit the post. He looked like the old Mitrovic of old. What is it about Preston that Mitrovic just gets himself up for it? Preston did come back into the game, you know, the last 15-20 minutes or so, and the warning signs were there. They scored, you know, Newcastle's defence a little bit all over the place. They should have scored when they had an open goal. I think it was Hugo off the top of my head who should have scored to put Preston 2-1 up, but Newcastle went into the half time, you know, 1-1. Looking at the first half performances, you have to say that Mitrovic again just gives Rafa a little bit of food for thought, because really we've only got two first team strikers in Gale and Mitrovic, and that performance by Mitrovic just sends a little signal out to Rafa saying, look, I'm still here, this is what I can do. Yes, I know it's championship, yes, it's friendly, but this is what all about it is, impressing the gaffer. Now also in that first half, you have to say that Siem de Jong, who played up to an hour, Rafa played him roughly about an hour in the first game against Hearts, and he's played him longer again in the second game, comparing it to other players. So it's clear that Rafa is clearly looking at Siem de Jong for his future plans. Siem de Jong wants to stay, and Rafa's looking in a little bit more in depth for him, and again he showed glimpses of flash skill. He had a great couple of touches, so he had a decent first half as well. Negatively, I'd probably say Grant Hanley was a little bit all over the place. He was turned, he was fouling his man, so Grant Hanley looks like his fifth choice. I know Chancellor Mbemba played right back and he was moved to centre back, very similar to Hearts, but I think Chancellor Mbemba has been forced to play at right back rather than being right back, because of obviously Yedlin come back from injury, Hazer Scamus wasn't available, Jamie Sterry's only recovering from his injury, so Chancellor Mbemba, I wouldn't worry about that too much with him playing right back in the first two games. I think he will naturally slot in at centre back, Grant Hanley down to fifth choice, but Grant Hanley wasn't very great, you know. Second half, Dwight Gale, as I mentioned, Siem de Jong had a chance as well, and Mbemba had a long range shot as well, but it petered out a little bit, you know. Murphy was bright. Jacob Murphy come on, made his debut. He was fairly bright. Manquillo come on, he played left back, because when Kieran Clark come on, Kieran Clark had a good over half an hour playing left back as well, so a little bit of changes on there. Just speaking of the formation that Rafa went for, again he went for the 4-2-3-1 formation, which we played last season, so that's 2 games in a row. There was a couple of slight tweaks what I've noticed, especially second half. Siem de Jong was more pushed up, almost like a 4-4-2, so maybe Rafa's looking at that perhaps. I think now is the time to experiment, and personally I don't think we have seen enough experimentation yet. Maybe when Rafa gets his men through the door, he has hinted on, which we'll hear from Rafa in a second, that he wants a possibility of more transfers coming in. Rafa's also said in his press conference that Newcastle have got another level to go to. There is some tweaks in the formation that was made today, and he's hopeful on transfers as well. This is what Rafa said on audio about the performance against Preston.
It wasn't the best. I think we have some good situations, good plays sometimes, but not the best. You know, at this stage of the season, you have the fitness is quite important. You could see that they were a little bit more sharp than us, but they still understanding between players, the tactical work, and things that we have to improve.
So Rafa once more, doesn't he? So you're looking at the players. I just want to touch upon the players that weren't there. You know, there was no Jamal Lascelles. Tim Krul again left out. Lazar left out again. Riviere. Gamez wasn't there because of injury. Sterry. Fernandez, who went to the under-23s, who actually had an outstanding game with the under-23s, and Matt Ritchie didn't make it either. So just speaking of the under-23s, they actually won against Gateshead at the International Stadium 3-0, thanks to El Marni, Fernandez and Ward coming off the bench scoring as well. So good, another good win for the under-23s there. I was quite surprised, Victor Fernandez wasn't with the first team because he's been in training all week like Carl Roberts over in Ireland, and he was, would you say, relegated to the under-23s, put out there and put in a man of the match performance with an assist and a goal. So he'll feel quite hard done by, but he'll feel very, very happy that he's put in a good performance because the lad's got talent. He's one that me and Will and Sharky love. We've kept an eye on him, and he's one that gets you off their feet. But overall, under-23 is great. We'll probably get in the next day or two talk a little bit more about that. Just touching back to the Newcastle's friendly, we're seeing 3,000 away fans at the ground as well. Here they are. So fantastic support by Newcastle fans going all the way down to Lancashire, well, across Lancashire, isn't it? But Newcastle 1-1 draw doesn't really make a difference. There's some tweaks to be made. Personally, I would like to see change of formation. That's what I would like to see. What do you guys want? Do you want to see, obviously everyone wants new signings, but I mean, from this formation, do you want to see a change? Maybe you want to see players playing different positions, because today it was Atsu starting on the right, Aaron's on the left. Let us know what you think of that. Thanks for watching Newcastle Fans TV, and we'll see you later.